there were some things I found out, very far, or several days after the incident. I remember being shocked at how fast these guys, because the guy comes up, says, I'm so-and-so, I'm an engineer from APS. Oh, yeah, well, I'm talking to him, and he says, yeah, I drove from North Scottsdale to here. And I remember thinking in my head, dude, that's like a 45-minute drive. Like, we haven't been here that long. How'd you get here that fast? I didn't find out till later that one of the things that had happened is they had an alarm go off in that facility, and that's what the contractor was out there investigating. And they didn't call us. Ultimately they did call us, but we were getting on scene at the time they called us. The call that dispatched my company to that incident scene never came from APS. It was from a passerby who saw the smoke. And then ultimately APS did call us because I got that update but it was at the time I'm pulling up. So our MCTs will ding with an update. Well, that happened as I'm pulling up now, going from, oh, it's a brush fire to, oh, crap, I don't know what this is next to the substation, this building that's on fire. And so and the guy's coming up and talking to me at the window, and so I never even paged over to the updated page on that information showing that APS had called us. Yeah, they must have called it in like about the time they heard our sirens coming down the road, in my belief. So anyway, I'm talking to the APS guy from Scottsdale, and I just remember being stunned at all these guys. And it was like a lot of them were showing up. I don't remember the exact number, but there was 5, 6, 7 guys there in multiple vehicles from APS representative or contractors, But he was the bigwig on scene. We're talking to him. And at first, they were pretty patient. I had gone from talking to the contractor, who was really kind of trying to tell me that it was a nothing burger type incident. They just need to get in there and reset something. And I think that they were a little more behaved initially early at that point because we had meter readings. We had Peoria's hazmat team tell us, no, we knew it was the batteries at that point. So now we're talking to this guy, and I'll be honest, I didn't interview him a ton. I might have asked him a few questions when the hazmat team was downrange, because they made multiple entries into our new hot zone of the fenced area, never into the building, just to get meter readings. So I might have talked to him at that point, but usually, or I might have been standing there. When Hunter was out of the incident, he was the hazmat guy. When they were having conversations, I would stand there and listen. But at early, they were pretty easygoing. Like, we're trying to figure out what to do, but gradually, as the incident progressed, because we were there several hours, they wanted their building back. Just to sum it up, and I think Hunter would tell you the same thing, and I know Chief Cheatham would tell you the same thing. We had the impression that they would come and talk to us. They would tell us it's not that big of a deal, or they want to make entry. We would tell them no. They would say, okay, well, you guys are the experts. We'll back off. But then they would come back and do the same thing, maybe 30 minutes later. It just seemed like I had multiple interactions with them where they were really wanting their building. So that became, throughout the incident, a different pressure of, okay, well, what do we do with this thing? Like, I can't give it back to them. And so I don't know how many entries I don't recall how many entries that Hunter's team made in, but they made a couple entries in there to gain meter readings. And what was kind of going on the incident was going, hey, and I think they were just using hydrogen cyanide because that's what they can measure for. And the levels are starting to decrease outside over multiple entries. And what we were using was pretty much using hydrogen cyanide kind of as a marker for combustion. Like, I can't test anything else, but I can get those levels. And if they're getting better, then the incident must be getting better.
Was the smoke dying down as well? I mean,
it was
in several hours probably.
I don't see by the time, 30 minutes into it, it was thinned out quite a bit. There was still a haze coming out of there, still smoke kind of being produced, but their levels on the outside kept getting lower and lower. And a couple hours into the incident, we kind of had an impasse of what to do. And Hunter, he's talking to Car 957 north and south, and they're not on scene with us. But he's talking to them on the phone and giving them the readings and everything that we have. And we kind of came to an impasse when absolutely at one point, and I just remember this standing there, and this was after they had some chemist from out of town. We were talking to one of their chemists, and I remember him trying to tell us that. What's that?
He was from LG Chem, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he was trying to tell us your meters are wrong. That's not what's happening inside the facility.
But this was just his opinion, huh?
Well, we told him what we had because their top engineer guy that was there came over and said, "Hey, I got my lead chemist on the phone. He wants to talk to you." And actually, I think Hunter was downrange at the time doing another reading, and I told him what we had, and he said, "No, your meters are wrong. That's not what's happening. It's mimicking those chemicals, and it's fooling your meters." Whatever. We're gonna follow what our meters are telling us because that's what we have. So shortly after that phone call, Hunter was in the meeting and Chief Cheatham was there. We were talking to the APS guy. He kind of looks at us and goes, "I'll be honest, we don't have a plan for this." And once he kind of went with that, because we were starting, is there any way to vent the structures, any way to do anything? So with the decreasing readings, we kind of, and with Hunter was talking to Car 957 North, Car 957 South, and those guys kind of discussed a plan of, well, we can't stay here for days. So what we might do is make another entry into the perimeter. If the readings are low or nothing there, we're going to assume that maybe the combustion stopped. And at that point, we can open the door and then leave the hot zone. Give it a period of time, and it either burns down, in which case we'll put water on it and treat it like a fire, and it solves our problem, or it doesn't, and you give it enough time, then we can maybe do an entry meter and see if it's cleared out and turn it over to an industrial hygienist. And either way, we deny entry of APS trying to get into the structure. So that was the plan that had been kind of formulated, that they were going to make that last entry in and open the door so the building can vent out and just give it a period of time, kind of see, hey, it either burns or doesn't. So when they went in, it was Hunter, his team, when we only had the one line. So he says, hey, I'm going to split my team and use two of my guys as a backup and as our backup team. And me and the other guy will go and meter up to the walk around meter. If we're getting nothing, we're going to open the door and then immediately exit the hot zone to kind of wait and see what happens.